Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing part 3 in my Q&A answer segment type of videos leading up to The Walking Dead Season 5, Episode 13, Forget. We're going to be leading off starting with a question, or the comment really in my response to it, that Norman Reedus tells us fans to bring Kleenex to the Season 5 finale. Okay, and of course, spoiler warning if you guys aren't caught up on The Walking Dead up to current time. So, so he tells us, the viewers, the fans, to bring Kleenex for the Season 5 finale. So this isn't the first time he's done this. He has done this for Coda as well, which was the mid-season finale, where we saw the death of, you better be caught up, spoiler warning, Beth, and then, of course, Episode 9, which it returns with the death of Tyrese, which was kind of like a double whammy. I just didn't see that second one especially coming up. The first one, we kind of knew that there was going to be, and Norman had told us before that he cried for an hour before filming it, and they even cried during the scene as well too, because it was really sad and everything. And that was Coda. So, for him to tell us this again, it could be misinfo, because he did say that last time. Maybe they want him to go the other way this time. But I tend to think that I'm not sure if Norman would really do that. Would he mislead fans? I don't know. I don't think so. So it sounds like we're going to get another character death in the finale. Really, that's what it comes down to. Who's it going to be? Who's most likely? Well, you guys have seen my death predictions at this point for the second half. Still stands. Tyrese was in there. Of course, he's gone now, so that's not going to be in the finale. But the other ones that we're looking at, any character that gets a lot of time prior, is somebody you're looking at. So if you look at somebody like maybe Carol, she's had a good amount of time. I wouldn't want to see that. I wouldn't want to see her killed off at all. But I think that she's one of the more likely characters because she's at the forefront. Glenn has had some time recently too. He's had quite a bit of time. And like with the Tyrese thing, when they didn't know what to do with Tyrese, they just kill him. So with Glenn, we could see something similar, or maybe it could be somebody like your Noah or Tara, because we did have with Tara the scene where she replaced the comic book series Holly in that Glenn saved her basically. When that zombie that was disintegrating and Remember was coming at her, which was freaking gnarly, by the way. So I could see that. I could see her being killed off or somebody like that. If he says to bring Kleenex, that would mean it would have to be one of the survivors, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be like one of the people, Alexandria, because I'm sure we're going to see lots of them be killed off by the finale. 4 episodes. If you count the last episode being 90 minutes, it's like a half, so 4.5. So I'm sure we're going to see some deaths, and maybe I think probably one out of the survivors by the finale, and it might be a big one. Hopefully not Carol, because I like Carol so much. So those are my kind of predictions at this time. When we get closer to the finale, we'll see some more stuff. But they have done a pretty good job too sometimes, like with Tyrese, where they didn't telegraph it. It was unpredictable. It just happened out of nowhere, right? So maybe they're going to continue with that, where they're not going to telegraph, prior. They're not going to give that character extra time so that we can predict, that we kind of know that it's going to happen with them. They're going to throw us through a loop like they did with Tyrese and just have it happen sporadically, and we wouldn't even be able to predict it. So we'll see how it goes. I'm interested to see whether or not it's going to be a death as a result of what's happening inside of Alexandria. So maybe the previous Alexandria group with the survivors, some kind of battle between the two, because we've seen Aiden and Nicholas and Peter, who obviously are not fond of Rick's group as a whole, the survivors as a whole. So we'll have to see what happens with that. And then, obviously there's the wolves as well too, so hopefully we'll see them attacked by the finale. If it's going to be a 90-minute episode, I tend to think we're going to see the wolves attacked by the end, and they'll probably kill at least one of the survivors, maybe 2. But I go with 1 at this point, because we've already had 2. I'm surprised that Norman's even telling us this, because I didn't even think we were really going to get many deaths for a while, since we had so many, Bob, and then Beth, and then Tyrese so quickly. So there it is. Let me know what you guys think and who you think is going to be killed off in the finale, if what he says is true, which it probably is. So let me know what you guys think about that. Write your predictions in the comments below, and let's do some more questions. So Q&A questions. So the first one's from both Hoover 623 and Hobo Joe, as well as other people asked this too, but these two I wrote down because they asked it first. And they said, hey, Trev, we have a question. When do you think we are going to see Heath in the TV series? And what about the Doctor? Are they just waiting? So I hope to see Heath soon. Well, he could be at the Alexandria Safe Zone, or maybe out on a run or something, and we might not see him there. Or we may have him be a character that joins up later on. However, Holly is another one that's not there. There's other characters as well too. They haven't included everybody. Just a lot of the key ones. Granted, Heath does become more of a key one later on. That said, a lot of people think that Noah is Heath. I don't know. I mean, I guess they have some similarities. I mean, they're both African American. But I mean, that doesn't really mean that one is the other. They do. Noah, he does seem to have some other Heath features. Like I get the sense that Heath is pretty good at getting in and out of places, like kind of Glenn as a runner and that kind of thing. So I think that Noah, if his leg, heals up, because right now he's got a bum leg, right? So he's not the best right now. So maybe if the doctor there, because he did mention Peter, who is a doctor as well, right? Maybe he could help Noah with his legs. So I don't know. It's hard to say when we're going to see these other characters, if at all. We may see another group join up with Alexandria later on, including some of these characters that we haven't seen yet, unless they're just in the background or somewhere and we haven't seen. Because I'm sure we haven't seen every single person or every single character that's in Alexandria yet. I mean, it's a pretty big location. You guys saw the virtual tour. There's a lot of different places people can live, and houses, and the big apartment building or whatever that is, and that kind of stuff. So yeah, cool. So where is he? I don't know. I mean, what can I really say about that? Hopefully we'll see him soon. I hope to. That said, in the comic book series, I can't really think like too many things he did that were that major anyway. Or that we got to know him that. I don't feel like we got to know Heath that well anyway. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like he's like a Carol or something like that where we really got to know him. Not the comic book series version. So we'll see how the TV series version ends up, if they even bring him in at all, unless Noah is him. Let me know what you guys think about that one, too, in the comments. Next one's from C45 Games, and he or she says, Trev, in the comics, Andrea has the job of Watch in the Tower. Who do you think will take that role in the TV series? So I think Sasha's a no-brainer for that. We've already seen, Rick call out to her when a zombie was coming up and she just nails it right away. So I think definitely, that'll be her job. I don't know if we're going to see a relationship between Rick and Sasha, though. We haven't seen anything like that so far. So unless it manifests later on, it seems like that might be different. So she may not exactly be the Andrea from the comic books, but she may fill the sniper role, which it looks like is what they're going to do. Next one is, let's see here. Let's do one from Alexander Boulay, and he says, Trev, what's your job? So I've answered this before many times. I'm a senior remote desktop computer technician, and that's about as close as I can get to telling you. I mean, I have certifications, and I do have a bachelor's degree of computer science. So that's about all I can tell you about my job and that, and my career in that. So yeah, next one's from Jack Ace, and he says, Q&A wanted your thoughts on this idea. The three men exiled. What if the original was the leader of Alexandria, who is deceased? The second is the leader of the Wolves, and the third ends up being Negan. I don't think it's going to be Negan, man. I don't think Negan would allow someone to exile him. No, I don't think so. But I will say that I do think it makes sense that one of the people that was exiled could be one of the leaders of the Wolves or could be a part of the Wolves. One of the two. We'll have to wait to find out. But if they just attack Alexandria out of nowhere, it would make sense that unless there was a herd that came through and they heard the gunshots or something, or they just scouted the place and found it at random, I think it's a good idea that they would go with somebody who was exiled, who then comes back to get revenge or something. So I think that's a good idea. But the rest of it, I don't see that here. And then somewhere in the mix, we see Morgan come back into play. Should be good. I'm excited for it. Next one's from Jack Coward, and he says, Trev, I watch your videos all the way from the UK and have been a subscriber for 4 whole seasons now. Well, thank you, Jack. That's awesome, man. He says, I wanted to get your opinion on the clue on the back of the comic Carl picks up, which says, Wolf Fight. Yet another clue about the wolves. So yeah, I touched on this one in the Things You Missed video, so wolf fight, and then there was the other wolves on the side of the buildings and that. So they've really shown a lot of, is it foreshadowing? Is that the right word for it? Or is it setup? I don't know exactly the right word for it in this case. But yeah, they've shown a lot of little things hinting that we're going to see wolves at some point soon. We even have the dogs, which almost seem like there's some kind of prototype, for wolves, because dogs and wolves are close. So I definitely think that's the next group that we're going to see attack, and the big bad wolf will be Derek from the Walking Dead comic book series. So that's what I think. I think his name's Derek. Yeah, it's Derek. Yeah, from the Scavengers. Yeah, the Big Bad Wolf. Little pig, let me in. Makes perfect. Or I'll blow your house down. Big Bad Wolf makes perfect sense to me. I did the video on that already. You guys have seen that too. Now this one I'll end with because I like this one a lot. This is a great question. This is from Ian McMillan. He says, if you had to choose to cancel the Walking Dead comics or Walking Dead TV show and continue one of them, which would you choose and why? So if we had to pick just one, if we had to choose between the TV series and the comic series, we can't have both, and the other will continue. So, for example, if the comic series was canceled, the TV series would still continue past that point, regardless. That's such a hard question, man. I mean, the Walking Dead comic book series, just my absolute favorite, of all time. Of course, you guys seen, the backdrop and everything, and just all the different, the different storylines we've gone through and everything. Just been absolutely incredible all the way through. My favorite comic book series of all time. I look forward to reading it every month. And, it really, for me, there's nothing better in terms of comics out there than The Walking Dead. I look forward to it so much. So, if I had to choose one or the other for which to see, the only reason, okay, so sometimes I go back and forth on this. I do prefer probably the storyline of the TV series thus far up to this point. But there are things I like about the comic series better too. Like there's characters. I like what they've done with Sophia. I like what they've done with Andrea in the comic series. I liked what they did with Tyrese much better. So man, that's such a tough question. And also the Walking Dead comic series Rick, I think, is actually a better Rick than the TV series version. Yeah, I can say that. He's more hardened. He's been through more, had his hand cut off, and all that other crazy stuff that he's been through in the comic book series all the years. So that's a really tough one for me to choose. I think I'd probably go with the TV show as being the one to keep, and that's only because we get more content from it per year. And now some people would say, well, no, we don't. We get, 12 issues a year of the Walking Dead comic book series. Yeah, but each issue is, and sometimes an extra, or sometimes they do like 2 a month or something if we're lucky, right? And I love that. But the thing about it is, like 12 issues of a comic book is 2 trades, basically. It's 2 trades, 2 of these. So you're looking at 2 trades a year, roughly, or a little bit more sometimes. It's not as much content as a whole as the TV series. You could look at it as a chopped down version where you don't have a lot of the filler and they just show us what we need to see in terms of the story rather than a lot of the other things the TV series adds in. But you get 16 episodes at 42 minutes of dead, right? And then the 90-minute one for the finale, this finale coming up. So you're getting a lot of content there. I mean, you're getting many, many hours. So if they're 40 minutes each, and you get 10, so that's 400 minutes, and then you get the other 6, so you're looking at 400 so 400 minutes, and then the other episodes. So the TV series you get 11.2 hours, and then if you have a half, then you get like 11.5. So you get almost 12 hours of straight footage, of straight content of the TV series. So you're getting more as a whole each year than you are with the Walking Dead comic book series. It's more stripped down version of it, even though they may add in other stuff in the TV series like the Beth stuff and that, so it doesn't cover more than a couple trades or whatever, the same amount. But we're getting a lot more story, we're getting more characters, we're getting more things added in. So I would probably pick the TV series if I had to choose between one or the other for the one to continue. That said, though, it's not a knock against the comic book series. It's amazing. And if we got that same amount of content in the comic book series, worth 12 hours of reading, let's say, or more, because watching is faster than reading, I would probably go with the comic book series if we got the same amount. But we don't. It's slower to be released, and as a result, just because of the nature of the type it is, unless they were able to hire somebody to help Charlie Adler or something, I'd probably have to go with the TV series. So those are my thoughts on that. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about all of this, and write your comments below on all your responses to these. If you had to pick one, comic book series or TV series, which would you go with? I would go with TV series, just because mainly we get more of it more quickly. So we get more content faster, and I love that. Plus, I'm also a visual person, so I like to see things play out visually, and I think they do an amazing job with the TV series. So probably a TV series. Anyway, if you liked the video, please thumb it up below, guys. If you want to help support the channel, please share it, please favorite it. And that's it for today's. See you guys tomorrow. As always, it's Trav saying peace.